and welcome to Bad Reading, everybody. My name is Atlas Novak, and with me today is...
Chris.
Just Chris?
Chris Hetlinger.
Well, that's cool. That's a good time.
I thought you were going to introduce Landon first. My apologies.
We're gonna. So today, amid the coronavirus, our guest isn't in the studio with us. We're across the room. But today we have a very special guest. Please welcome Landon Hughes, everybody.
Hi, both of everybody. Thank you for having me. You said the screen is a monkey. I didn't realize that there was a monkey. It looked like what are those giant rats in South America and Brazil? The carabao. What are they called?
What?
The type of what is that vermin? The world's largest.
Capybara?
Yeah, I thought it was a capybara.
Capybara. I mean, it comes from like the whole concept where if you have a bunch of monkeys in front of typewriters, they'll make Shakespeare, right?
Like the Simpsons joke. Yeah.
I mean, that's long before the Simpsons, but
oh, I'm sure that's when I first heard it, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like we're a fan fiction podcast. Monkeys in front of a typewriter, that kind of thing. Landon's calling in from home on Skype, if you can believe it. I considered wearing my bandana, but there's no reason to right now because we're across the room. Anyway, rambling aside, what are we doing today? What kind of fan fiction do we pick out for Landon, Chris?
We got a Legend of Zelda crossover.
Legend of Zelda.
But the bonus part today is you're going to guess what crossover it is.
So you're wondering who we're crossing over with?
Yes.
You want to take a guess, Landon?
Well, I mean, you can guess now, but I suspect that you won't be able to guess without any information.
Oh, you're doing like a multiple choice.
Oh, are there clues?
Well, the clues is going to be the fan fiction itself. So feel free to interrupt at any time with anything, but also to guess.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, we'll put the story in the show notes for you to play. You've heard it all. Continue.
Yes. This one is from Archive of Your Own. The author is Flamey Kitten.
Flamey Kitten?
Mm-hmm.
That's creepy.
Furries.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Isn't Flamey like a...
Is it Zelda furries?
No, it is not Zelda furries.
Okay.
Last week we had The Incredibles and incest. I think if we went with Zelda furries, it'd be like just...
We'd just be getting...
It'd be a shock to the system, yeah.
All right. And then she wrote all of the... Okay, so the chapter 1 is called Canción de la Tormenta.
Ooh.
Oh.
Thunder growled like a cornered beast, occasionally provoked into lashing out with claws of lightning that cleaved the sky in two. Fat raindrops crash-landed on the back of leaves, forcing them to bow down so the rain could conclude its journey upon the sodden ground. The air was very thick, textured, almost a living thing itself with both body and soul.
I turned that exact passage in to my English teacher, and she sent me to the principal back in high school. No.
This is so epic. I'm so into it. This is like something I would have read in high school in the back of a library.
Right?
And you're like, bring on the smut.
Bring on the smut. Oh no, is it tentacle in Zelda? No, oh wait, we said no. We're not doing 2 sex on sex episodes.
Well, we never said it wasn't sexy. We just said it wasn't that sexy.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's not incest and it's not furries.
Well, because like the crossover, it'd be a crossover with like what like movie, book, TV show, whatever. So keep that in mind. Yeah.
Okay. He stood on the flooded banks of the river with his face tilted to the sky. Rain hammered down on the surface of the water and became one with it, swelling the river far beyond its usual boundaries. It lapped at his feet invitingly, trying to coax him back into the depths. For once, he was not listening. Face remained tilted, streaked with drops, then had to run the gauntlet of scales along the length of his body. Breath misted out as steam from between parted lips, quickly dissipating into the heavy air. Utterly intoxicating.
You said this was bad reading. I'm utterly engrossed with what's going on right now.
I'm so engrossed.
This one is better than most of the ones we picked. I picked it more because of what it was rather than
than like the writing itself.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had episodes like that before, where like it's not that the story was bad, it was just that like
It's absurd.
Absurd. Like, ironically, a long time ago, we had an episode with Mario where Mario ends up in Hyrule. Dumbest concept I've ever heard, but it turned out okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just...
That's how I feel about this
We
one.
could have some crossovers. That's actually fun. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the many totems of what kind of fan fiction there is.
I mean, there should be an Apocalypse one where Link starts having cuckoos.
I think, or starts having, I was like, an Apocalypse one, that's just Breath of the Wild.
Fair.
Yeah.
Have you played Breath of the Wild, Landon?
Oh, I played all of them, yeah. I've done, beginning to end so far, yeah.
I still haven't finished Breath of the Wild. I'm just fucking around doing stuff.
Because you don't kind of want to. It's such a great game.
Yeah.
You're sort of like...
Well, especially now because the real apocalypse is happening. You're just like, I don't want to finish.
I'm on my second playthrough, and I have just done one Divine Beast, and I'm just going around doing all of the things instead of doing the actual quest.
Wait, did you finish the first playthrough and then you were like, all right, let's start again?
I finished my first playthrough, but I did it on the Wii U, and then I got a Switch. So.
Whoa, I just gave my Wii U to a friend of mine because he doesn't have internet and all this stuff, and one of the games is Breath of the Wild. He's going to freaking trip out because he's never played it before.
It's so good. I'm glad that's one of the games that's on it so we can play it.
My husband is a huge fan of it, and he's up to almost 900. He almost got all the core exceeds. He's almost done. He's done like squiggly lines through the map to make sure he's seen just about every single corner. That they don't even have any memory left to follow his path. Like it's erasing behind him as he moves forward. Yeah.
I think that's you can only have like 200 hours of the hero's path thing.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I didn't even know that was the thing. I'm at like 90 or something, like 90 hours.
I have no idea.
Give or
take
some. When you finish, you get poo, right? Like that's what they give you as a reward.
They give you pieces of poop. That's their gift.
No. I mean, like afterward, like when you get all 900 seeds, he just gives you.
Oh, I don't know yet. Yeah, I guess so.
Spoilers
you'll
for
find
Breath
out.
of the Wild. Sorry.
Spoilers. It's been out for years.
But my dad actually plays a lot when I'm not playing. So like,
how old is your dad?
My dad he was born in 1954. So
66.
Math. No, you don't do
That's
math. 63.
1954.
Yes.
4 plus 6 is 20, or 4 plus 6 is 10. So that's 6, and then you add 60 years from 1960 to 2020.
Is he that old?
64. I mean, barring months and things like that. Math.
He looks really young for his age.
You got math.
Well, I don't know. I can't do math right now. I only had Taco Bell today, which is not conducive for thinking.
I had Wendy's before I came here. I'm starting to go to 2 different Wendy's so that they don't recognize me.
Do you go to the one on North Vermont?
There's the one in Vermont near the Hollywood Hotel, and then there's the one on Sunset,
that's what I used to go to.
And then the one on Sunset and La Brea. That's the other one I go to.
Sunset La Brea. Oh yeah, I forgot there was one down there.
Yeah. I mean that one was on the way here for me, but
yeah. No, I generally don't actually eat fast food, but today I was like, Atlas texted me at like 11:20 or something, and I was sleeping still. My sleep quality hasn't been great, so I was just like, I'm going to take my sleep where I can get it.
Right. Everyone's having these like panic attack nightmares, and they're like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to beat myself up for eating Taco Bell.
Yeah, exactly.
I need substance. Yeah.
Just today. Also,
just today. Leave me alone.
That Mountain Dew Baja Blast, I don't know where else you can get it. It's just a Taco
right.
Bell.
I think.
You know, it's like half Mountain Dew, half blue Powerade, right? Like that's it.
Really?
That's it. Yeah.
It's like a Shirley Temple. It's like it's just maraschino cherry juice and 7-Up. Wow.
No, it's grenadine and 7-Up.
Oh, grenadine. I mean maraschino cherry juice. Grenadine.
And then a Roy Rogers is grenadine plus Coke. Bad reading the drink podcast.
Only because you know what they are.
Don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Well, no, it's good. Yeah. It's good knowledge.
All right, keep going.
All right. Without warning, the world was illuminated by a dazzling fork of lightning that imprinted a lasting sunburst across his vision.
He was wearing the rubber suit, so he was fine.
Yeah.
Dude, I died so many times, like, without realizing why when I was first, like, chasing Farosh.
Oh, gosh.
And then I was like,
Get
what?
rid of all that metal.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? And, yeah,
well,
anyway.
You didn't see the sparking
Physics.
and you're like, maybe I should take that off.
I didn't connect it at first. It was the first time I was playing it. I was like, it's a dragon! And I was chasing it. So I was all excited.
I didn't know you had to upgrade the rubber suit cause after you get it to be immune to lightning strikes. So I put it on, and then I'd keep getting hurt. I was like, what is going on? Why aren't I immune to lightning? Did I not collect all 3 pieces of rubber? What am I?
Gotta go to the fairies and pay them.
Yeah, and then they, like, rape you. Basically.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot, yeah.
It starts
Fairy
with the
love.
glowing kisses. It's just like...
And then they'll full on grab you and take you into the fountain with them.
Yeah, but you're like, what, the size of their hand?
Yeah.
What can you do?
I mean, they finally managed to top the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask Great Fairies for creepiness.
Yeah.
They did it.
But I love the art style, though. I love, like, that southern lady, like, giant hair thing that they got going on. I call the one in the most, like, southern region Marie Antoinette, Terra, the Great Fairy, the one with the white hair.
I can't remember who's who. There's the one in Gerudo, there's the one by Kakariko, and then the other 2 are just out in the wilderness somewhere. I don't.
That's the Gerudo one, the one that's in the desert.
Oh,
I was like, hello, Marie Antoinette. Because she's like, oh.
That's what they all
But they've
sound
always been weird. The fairies, the big ones, even I remember in Ocarina of Time, they scream out of the pond and they have like they have these cone boobs and cone hair. Like
I have limited polygons. I must make the best
but
of
them. They were done so well with the limited polygons,
Yeah.
I think too. Yeah, with the ivy look. Yeah, to cover their bodies. Yeah. Yeah. The fairies always been weird.
Did you ever see the one in the Wind Waker?
The ones that look really sad when you catch them in the bottles.
No, those are just fairies.
Yeah.
The great
the
fairy,
little baby fairies.
the ones that give you fire and ice. The one that gives you fire and ice arrows is like
With 4 arms.
with 4 arms. It's honestly like the least creepy somehow.
I don't know about that. I think the little sad ones that are in the bottles are the least creepy.
I mean, again, great fairy versus regular fairy.
That's true, yeah. Those are two
That's
two
what it is.
different
Great
things.
fairy. Yes.
Yeah.
The one in Twilight Princess wasn't so bad. She just had like
I can't remember what she looks like.
She looked like a fae creature, like what I would imagine from like all I know about D&D and like fae creatures. She was naked and her boobs were like covered with her hair.
Oh, that's right. I liked that one.
Yeah, she wasn't creepy looking. She was just like pretty.
Yeah. You know what my favorite part of this is? We can see producer Nolan in the little window at the top of Landon.
Oh yeah.
For the YouTube people, enjoy that. Now you can see what he looks like.
Oh yeah, I had to do a Google search real quick. I couldn't remember. I was like, what was the gold over the Great Fairy in Twilight Princess? But yeah, done really well.
Yeah, she was in the Cave of Trials or something.
Cave of Ordeals,
Yeah,
the combat dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cave of Ordeals. Oh man, that was a hard thing. Anyway.
This is going to be an episode where we go off on tangents the last like 5 minutes, so enjoy that.
Well, it's about Zelda.
Yeah.
How can we not?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, so my dad is on playing Breath of the Wild all the time, so it looks like I am on my Switch at all times of day. I am not. I'm working on my computer downstairs. My dad is playing Breath of the Wild upstairs because he can play like in between, like while he's waiting for something to happen at his work. Because he has to wait for like programs to run and stuff since he's a software engineer. And so he's like playing Breath of the Wild in the background. And someone texting me is like, "Are you playing while you're at work?" And I was like, "No."
You have to. You don't get up and go talk to somebody like an Office Space. You know, you have to play a little bit of. I like that there's online now. We're playing a lot of online games, but Zelda's a great just zone out, run around, and high roll. Yeah,
I agree.
It's a good between work game.
I just like
not
the
like
idea.
Candy Crush.
I like the idea of your dad being like, "Chris, you better get off those video games," like as a kid, and then now you're just like. What the hell?
Yeah, were you guys always a video game family?
Yeah, basically. My dad,
Oh, yeah.
my dad's always been a software engineer, so he programmed in like an OS back before Windows was a thing so that we could select a video game to play and stuff. It was really cool.
That is pretty
Very
cool.
cool.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying something.
No, that's neat. I remember my friend's dad had like a Tandy or something. I can't remember what kind of computer, but his dad also programmed, and it wasn't Windows or anything. It was just a green screen, and you would click Golf 2,
It was the same
all
kind
these
of
other
thing,
games.
yeah.
Now I'm getting the thing from Mike. Okay, Nolan was here earlier, and then now Mike's here. How?
We swap. I thought
You swap.
Sorry, I don't want Mike.
I am surprisingly unobservant.
Back to the
Just
story.
keep going.
Okay. All right.
Lasting sunburst across his vision was the last thing you read.
The resulting snarl of thunder, instant and close, was enough to make the ground rumble, but still not enough to drown out the near-distant sounds of screaming and pleading. That prompted immediate action. On land, he was somewhat awkward. In the water, he was another creature entirely. Legs that struggled with running worked perfectly for swimming, coming firmly together so that his large webbed feet could act almost as the tail of a seal or a dolphin. Or a mermaid. The fin that hung down from the back of his head played a part of a rudder, allowing him to make quick turns at a moment's notice. He plowed upstream, as though unable to feel the powerful storm-fed current that pushed back at his body with all its might. Even debris could not stop him. A lightning-charred 3 passed over harmlessly as he dived down into the riverbed. Single-minded determination in physical form.
I thought he didn't want to go swimming. You ignored it.
He did, but now he's in the water.
Okay. That's happening.
It didn't ever say when he went into the water. He's just suddenly in the water.
He's just in there. I assume they don't have to follow him moment to moment necessarily.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's see. When he surfaced again, he'd reached his destination. The village was in turmoil. Wooden huts sporting collapsed roofs and smashed walls. Trees split and sagging. Livestock scattered and panicked.
Are there any jars with rupees in them?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Rupees scattered all about. A small child crashing open more things to get more rupees. The wailing pierced through even the wind and rain. An anguished cry of fear. Humans huddled miserably beneath ruined shelters, adults shielding children with their bodies as though to protect them from the next strike. It was a child who spotted him when he first emerged from the water, pointing and calling out in their language to alert the rest of the villagers. He was greeted, not with fear, but with gratitude. They beckoned him over and directed him, respectfully keeping their distance despite their desperation and taking great pains not to touch him. He towered over even the tallest adult, walking carefully on the leaf-littered and slippery pathways towards the source of their pain. It was one of the least damaged huts, still standing strong in its refusal to bend to either wind or rain. Inside, those he recognized to be the village leader and their healer kneeling over a prone body. He pressed forwards, and they quickly rose, stepping aside, hands clasped together, posture and eyes pleading, so that he might be granted access, crouching down in their place. It was a young female. Even without his superior sense of smell, it dulled a little above water.
And because of the coronavirus.
Yes. I'm going to be so sad if I catch it and can't smell things. I have a really good sense of smell.
I have a terrible sense of smell, which annoys me because I'm waiting for them to be like, all right, we're just going to release symptoms that Atlas already kind of deals with. Like, I'm waiting for them to be like, so one of the early symptoms of coronavirus was you thought Ad Astra was a terrible movie. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm already here.
They do seem to be releasing things that are more and more like generic symptoms. They're like, if you sneeze.
Yeah. If you have a vague existential fear of the universe, you might have coronavirus.
Yes.
So it's just gonna be, they're just gonna get Jeff Foxworthy to release coronavirus symptoms.
Oh man.
My eyes itch every time this year because I have allergies, and so this whole time, like, I can't leave, I can't go anywhere. I'm constantly scratching at my face. I am like a face terrorist. Yeah, I can't I can't not touch my face during this time because my eyes always look like I'm crying because I can solidify the whole house, put all, leave no pollen in, and for some reason I'll just swell up and it looks like I'm like corona'd out.
Corona'd out. The newest term. Out.
I'm trying to get the like expression of they've got the crown. Because like corona is another word for crown, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
So
well, corona. The reason why the family of coronaviruses is called coronaviruses is because they look like
it's Latin for the word crown.
Yeah.
So
and the crown, the coronaviruses I think were named after the sun because they have like the corona around them.
Yeah, that's like when you have an eclipse and you got the
oh yeah.
Well, it's just if you look at this, the little flames that are shooting off of the edges of a star, like the sun, is the corona.
The corona. Anyway, so if you'd be like, yeah, he's got the crown real bad, I'm like hoping that catches on.
It's
just to take down the British monarchy one final time, you know.
I know, from America, yes.
They're taking themselves out from the inside. They already have like refugees coming to America.
And now, what was it? Boris Johnson, who was like, well, I shook hands with everyone. And then he's like, I also tested positive for coronavirus recently.
He's a Floridian.
This entire year should just be that shocked Pikachu face meme.
Yes.
No, it couldn't have happened.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Even without his superior sense of smell, it dulled a little above water. The scent of charred flesh and singed hair dominated. She was still alive, though her breathing was shallow and filled with pain. Her teeth and fists clenched tight.
Have you guessed it yet? Comment
below.
Have you guessed it yet?
No, what is it?
Well, we gotta read more.
I'm not going to tell you what it is because I already know, but...
A red-pink spider's web of patterning had spread across the length of her body, from neck to breast to stomach. Lightning strike, not usually fatal, but... ... He spread a webbed palm across half her chest and could instantly detect the problem. Her pulse fluttered weakly, and worse, irregularly, having been knocked out of rhythm by the strike's fury. The lightning flowers would fade, and her hair and brows would regrow, and her burnt flesh would all heal in time, but her heart would need a little help. Eyes shuttered, closed, and breathing haltered.
Faltered?
I think she meant faltered. It says haltered.
Haltered is like a horse, right?
Yes.
Like you do that to a horse?
Yeah, you can halter a horse. So
can you falter a horse?
You can, but I don't think you would want to. I used to ride on a horse named Jack who would falter because he had one eye, so he was one-eyed Jack.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So you really had to like steer him with your legs because he had no depth perception and he couldn't see anything on one side.
Gotcha.
And
so he'll just bolt straight and not even notice if something's coming up.
Well,
faster.
Yeah, he was pretty chill, but like once in a while I would forget that he couldn't see on one side and he would smack my leg into something and I was like, I 100% deserve that.
My sister used to ride horses and I was annoyed by them.
I feel safer around big cats than I do around horses.
Have you watched Tiger King yet?
I have not.
I'm not gonna. I haven't yet.
Yeah, I know from personal experience, not from secondhand watching on YouTube videos. Netflix. There you go.
Have you watched Tiger King?
I'm on episode 2 right now.
How do you like it so far?
It's hilarious. I think it's fucking funny. Like, just another slice of American life.
No. Is he very America?
Yeah. And it was, he is very America. Yeah. I kind of dig it. I like it.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's funny though, and that's what everybody's like. Oh, gotta wait till the end. So I don't have any spoilers to give anyway. I'm only on episode 2, but everyone says like it does get better towards the end. I'm like, I'm already into it. This is hilarious. I'm one husband away from being this guy. Like, oh yeah, and a tiger.
I didn't know he had multiple husbands as well.
Oh, see, now I am giving away spoilers. All right, I'm done. I'm done
Spoilers
talking.
for Tiger King.
Spoilers for Tiger King.
Which by the time this episode comes out, they'll be like, "What are you doing? We're already on to the next thing."
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Although tigers, I do know this. Tigers are a little bit more unpredictable than lions. Lions are chill. If you know them.
Chill.
They're pack animals, so they're
it.
easier to deal with.
I feel like that'd be harder.
No, because if you create a bond with them, they're not gonna.
Oh no, I was more thinking you said they're pack animals. I'm like, yeah, but that means I'm not dealing with one lion. I'm dealing with several. Because you said they're pack animals.
But if you're dealing with like a solitary animal, like a panther or like a tiger or something, like I can see why they would be more aggressive randomly because they're not used to being in a pack. They're used to eating faces off alone. Like,
used to eating faces off alone.
As opposed to eating faces off in company.
In company.
Do you ever think that
like lions?
Do you ever think there's like one of the one part of a Pride of Lions who's like really into team building exercises?
It's the ant of the group.
He's like, all right, today we're going to play Quiplash because I know we're quarantined for the coronavirus, but everyone get your phones out. We're going to do it, even though we're in separate houses. Another fucking game of Quiplash.
Stop arguing with your cousin.
Stop arguing with your cousin. You know they love you.
We already got all these questions before. We're repeating questions now.
Oh, man. Those games are fun, though. Anyway.
Yeah, Jackbox has been killing it, actually.
Yeah, dude. We've had so many Jackbox parties.
Wait, like you and your friends?
Yeah.
Fucking get me in on that next time.
I will.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, add my... if you guys have Switches, add my... At the end, I'll give you guys my Switch code.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. Oh, my God, it actually does look like the Ocarina of Time. That's amazing.
It does. Learn the Minuet of the Forest next. That one was my favorite from Ocarina of Time.
I will learn it.
In the meantime, let's see. Okay. Faltered until he shared time with the injured female, inhaling and exhaling air at the same pace. Gradually, all surrounding noise faded into nothing more than background hum, rain, wind, and whispers blending into one. Energy thrummed through his veins, a power that manifested itself as subtle greenish glow descending through his extended forearm and emerging from the palm that laid flat against her chest. The glow filtered through her skin, and she was briefly illuminated in turn. It was all over in moments.
Wow.
The power of love.
And fishmen. Her tight face eased, jawline relaxing as she ceased grinding her teeth together.
That movie. Is that what this is? It's The Shape of Water?
Yay!
The Shape of Water. Crossover. Wait, so
he could smell? I didn't realize that. I don't know, like underwater creatures could smell. Oh, yeah. Okay.
They can. Wait, especially sharks. Which...
So far,
right. They sense blood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So far, seems like it's just been Shape of Water vaguely in Hyrule without much mention of it.
Yeah. It gets. I mean, I read the entire thing. It's quite long.
Does it get Zelda-eater?
It does.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, because doesn't he go to... Yeah, okay, sorry.
I mean, we could skip forward.
If we know where this is leading, are we going to see the water people?
This is a water person.
Well, this is Azora?
Yes, this is Azora.
Yeah,
dude,
what right now.
What if... Oh. All right, then. That's a thing. Yeah, let's just keep going.
Okay. Her tight face eased, jawline relaxing as she ceased grinding her teeth together. Lying loose and limp in the pallet, it might have appeared she had passed on, were it not for the steady rise and fall of her chest. The beat that drummed beneath his palm was already much, much stronger. It was the beat of a heart with the will to live. Withdrawing his hand again, he stood. His hammerhead crown very nearly brushed the ceiling of the hut as he rose to his full height, the last of the glow fading away until only crimson red remained. Both chief and healer regarded him, eyes brimming with gratitude, offering him words of thanks that were recognizable even to someone unable to reply beyond a lingering look. They did not stop him from leaving.
Hey, thanks for fucking my daughter. I appreciate it.
He didn't do that. He just touched her.
Okay, still, that's what it feels like.
He did touch her boob, though.
Yeah. Still kind of what it feels like. Hey, thanks for groping my daughter. Real nice of you.
Well, he had to. That's where your heart is under your boob.
I know. You don't have to lecture me about boobs. I know they're here for the YouTube people. There you go.
Boobs are not gay because everybody has them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Believe me, I've honestly considered buying like tape just to
tape down your boobs while you're working out.
While I'm working out, you act like I do that.
Top Spanx.
Every time Spanx, that's what it, or like the man's ear from Seinfeld. That.
I feel like that actually should be a thing.
What the bro?
Yeah. The man's ear.
Bro, man's ear, bro. Okay.
Away from Seinfeld. Leaving the way he came, he saw humans getting ready to work to restore some semblance of order to their home. It was difficult not to admire their tenacity and their desire not only to survive, but to thrive. They did not need his assistance with this. The village would be rebuilt in no time. He walked amongst them, the welcomed outsider. But this was not his domain. Ahaha. Get it? Zora's domain.
Yeah,
anyway.
I doubt it. Thank you.
Well, his departure...
I didn't get it until she said that.
Yay!
What kind of idiot am I?
You got both sides of the spectrum.
I'm the dumb Zelda head. Okay, here we go.
While his departure was watched closely, the villagers were too busy to do much more than offer him a wave before returning to the task at hand. For his part, he did not stop either. The burning cessation that raked his gills with every breath created a sense of urgency that he dare not ignore. The overflowing river babbled happily, beckoning him in a language without words, the one language he spoke fluently. This time, he heeded the water's call.
So that's the end of the first chapter?
Yes.
Whoa. I'm in. I dig it. I like the...
We'll send you a link to it so you can... I highly recommend it. It's actually, I had a fun time reading this. So
I think the wilder and more awkward of the fan fiction is kind of my get. Whereas, like, I do like the crossovers, but some of the times the crossovers can seem, like you said, when Hyrule or Mario kind of conjoin, like, yeah, you think, outside of Smash Brothers, you think, of course, I see this story. They're going to have this common enemy, story arc, a little bit of change. Whereas the crazy, kooky ones, that's the fun stuff where it's like, where would they take Link if he was falling in love with the Zora? And, like, even though they kind of did that in Breath of the Wild.
They totally did. Freaking Sidon and Link totally has something going on.
I really got, like, a J. Peterman vibe from Sidon. Like,
totally.
The character, he's like, all right, I'm going to help you board that giant elephant, Elaine.
Get on my back.
Yeah, get on my back.
We're going to swim together.
And I heard Gaston's voice in my head.
Who's ready for a good old-fashioned catfight?
That's funny. Well, Disney is very like Nintendo. Nintendo and Disney are very similar. These
how so? Because like
IPOs of like they're all built on a mouse. They're all built on a plumber. They're all built on like a bunny. They're all this one character empires. Yeah. And they all kind of like really care and have hardcore fans, about their IPOs.
It's true.
So, the second chapter is called Nocturno de la Sombra.
Mm-hmm.
Nocturno de la what?
Sombra.
Sombra.
Yeah.
Copy.
All right. So, I'll read it, I guess, unless.
Go ahead.
Okay. They had not been expecting another visitor, let alone 3. But when the sun rose, so did they, and they rose to find company in their midst. While his companions were unremarkable, they'd seen their fair share of pale-skinned Hylian folk, most striking with the leader's passing resemblance to the river-dweller they called a friend. He was extremely tall and powerfully built, with a wild mane of blood-red hair and sharp amber eyes.
Ooh, we found their favorite.
There, the resemblance ended, for... Of course, this man was no creature of the water. Several amongst the village recognized him belonging to the desert people, a Gerudo.
Oh.
Conversation was held in Hylian, that increasingly more widespread and ubiquitous tongue. The Gerudo requested a meeting with their chief, promising fortunate news, and won a little favor when he instructed his companions to assist with the reconstruction efforts. He was granted access to the chief's hut and folded down onto his knees before the older man. His introduction was simple and without fanfare. My name is Ganon.
I'm here, guys.
What brings you to our village, Ganon?
If the chief sounded tired, it's because he was. An inexcusable condition, considering the circumstances.
We are ill-suited to receiving guests at this current time. I don't know why they're...
This is like half German,
he
half
could
French.
Be, yeah,
what are you
he's
doing?
Nazi Ganon.
Nazi Ganon.
This is not Ganon, this is the village leader.
A young woman sat in the corner of the room, slowly sipping water from a half coconut shell.
I guess these ones are like over in, what's that?
Farron region? Or whatever the jungle...
Lurelin Village. That one.
Is that the one next to the ocean?
Yeah.
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 Ganon paid her a cursory glance before returning his attention to the chief. It is without regards to your plight that I am here. Last night's storm was no natural occurrence.
Invocantis.
The chief muttered, face hardening.
But I suppose you know it by a different name.
Thunder Wizrobe, Ganon supplied. 3 of them, in fact. Okay, side note, fuck Wizrobes.
They suck.
They are so annoying to kill.
Especially the thunder ones.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, because then they just shock everything, especially if you're fighting them over water. You're dead. You're done. Yeah.
Well, not just
Unless
that.
you have the rubber suit.
Yeah. Or they skip around up there, and I'm always out of arrows. And I'm just like...
Oh, yeah.
I have 999 arrows right now.
Why? How?
Oh.
My dad, one of the things he likes to do is to go collect items that I may find useful, which is super great for me, because whenever I start playing, I'm like, I have 999 arrows.
What did he
Your
just
dad's
go?
just farming arrows from bokoblins?
He was like running around, like letting them shoot at him and then just like picking up the arrows. And I was like, you do you, Dad.
Or like you put out like a wood shield and let him stick in the wood and then just take them. And then
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, if you have like a Boko shield or whatever they're called, like the wooden ones, or like a pot lid, they'll stick in the wood and then you can take them.
No way. Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
Did you just
See, that is so cool again. It's been out 3 years and I'm still learning like
little secrets?
Physics stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ocarina of Time was like that. People weren't finding out stuff in that game back in '98 for like years after finding, tombs and things like that.
Wait,
yeah.
I gotta play Song of Storms next to this hole? Why? Who would have told me that?
Well, exactly.
Sheik is always going to be my favorite Legend of Zelda character, though. I freaking loved Sheik.
The young woman's breath stuttered at the one recognizable word she had heard leave the chief's lips, drawing immediate attention. He was by her side in an instant, a weathered hand cupping her youthful face. Why am I doing that to my own face? Eyes searching for any hint of pain or difficulty.
My eldest daughter,
he said, glancing backwards over his shoulder,
was struck by lightning yesterday. The damage done is consistent with the might of the Invocantis.
And lack of a rubber suit.
My people will not be pleased to hear that 3 are living so close by.
Ah. Ganon lifted a finger and wagged it from side to side. So I guess like the Sonic screen.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, no, you didn't. A self-satisfied smile, doing little to brighten his rugged features. 3 were living close by. That is what me and my men have come to tell you. We eradicated the Wizrobe and put an end to their storm. The chief sighed.
Thank God.
Yeah, they finally beat the fucking elephant divine beast. Or
Not yet.
not yet. You're saving that one for last, I
Well,
guess.
I don't know. I mean, I actually don't know, but like if it's raining like all the time in that area until you defeat that divine beast, it's such a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Fucking trying to climb. There's gonna be one person who like listens to this episode. They're like, I know nothing about the Legend of Zelda. What the fuck? That's one problem about this podcast that I don't really know how to solve, which is if you don't really know much about what the thing we're doing the story for is, how do you really enjoy it for what it is?
It's you guys. It's the host. You guys make it fun. And that we want to either learn from that or learn we don't want to learn anything from that.
Something like that.
Through you. Yeah.
Go listen to the WWE episode if you want to see an example of the host and have no idea what's going on. Because
Well, to be fair, about half the time I am not going to know what's going on because I haven't seen a lot of movies and stuff.
yeah, but you're like a very thorough researcher.
That's true.
So you're like, all right, I have a week to figure this out. You come in with like these veritable like encyclopedia of knowledge, and I'm like, I didn't even know that shit a week ago or whatever. The chief's eyes noticeably widened, and he slowly drew back to his feet, staring down at Ganon with absolute disbelief.
You killed the Invocantus? Do you have proof?
Well, yeah, I have this blizzard or this lightning rod right here now.
Literally, that's what's about.
Other than the storm's abrupt end, Ganon raised a tense brow, but quickly allowed his expression to settle again when the chief's face visibly tensed. Of course. Reaching down to his side, the Gerudo fetched an unusual, yet instantly recognizable device. Vaguely resembling a jagged bolt of lightning forged with the handle of a blade weapon. Called it! It glowed and cracked as Ganon slowly swished it from left to right. A thunderstorm rod. The very thing used by Wizrobe to summon their deadly weather. No living Wizrobe would concede their iconic weapon, so that could only mean my companions each have their own thunderstorm rod. The chief nodded, standing beside his daughter.
I thank you on behalf of our people for the great service you have committed.
He pressed a hand over his heart.
Do you and your men desire any kind of reward for your efforts? We don't have much to offer, but I am willing to give anything I am able to give.
What are you doing, man? That's like... Put yourself in a good like position for bargaining instead of being like, take whatever the fuck you want.
These are trusting people. They're used to
They're
having
hut people.
Yeah, they're used to having a benevolent god come and save them.
I guess so. Or like a giant dragon that just shows up for no reason.
Yeah.
That's cool. Or something.
Gotta get that horn.
Wait, you can get the horn? I thought you didn't get...
You can get
the dragon,
horn.
horn scale, and...
Horn shard, the scale, or the claw?
Claw,
I think it's claw, yeah.
I've only gotten scales.
My dad is actually ace at getting the horn shards from specifically Farosh because he knows where Farosh like comes out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
So he spent some time farming a bunch of horn scales, and now I have 12,000 rupees as well. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
Do you mostly just use that for money, or?
He just sells them.
Oh yeah.
So you can make some pretty hardcore potions too, I think.
Yeah. I was never any good at the potions.
No, I'm not good at making stuff, but the ancient gear is good to like buy up with all that resources you're building up with the farming.
Oh,
yeah.
right, because you can like make the armor and the fucking chainsaw.
The
like,
chainsaw.
Glowing chainsaw.
I have not gotten the chainsaw yet. I want to.
Ganon smiled and returned the rod to its place on his hip. He gestured toward the chief's daughter and then laughed when they both stiffened. Wait, is that... Peace, that is not what I meant. I just wanted to ask if your daughter was healing well. A lightning strike is no walk in the park, specially forged by malicious magic. If you'd like, I can bring her to the healers in Hyrule. The chief's own smile was tight, but he shook his head.
You have done enough for us. And besides, my daughter is recovering well. We were aided by a great friend of ours.
Ganon's eyes glittered with interest. A great friend? He couldn't remember falling asleep, but it was certainly late morning when he roused again. Dappled sunlight filtered through the canopies to heat the shallows and caress his scales with its warmth, a gentle embrace. Lifting his head above the surface, he listened to the chirrup and whistle of birdsong and the thick hum of insects. His powerful flipper-like feet slowly tread back and forth to keep him bobbing in place, all of last night's energy nowhere to be found. Even the motion of his gills tended toward the Langorius, steadily drawing water in and out with no sense of urgency. He had no way of admitting it out loud, but the act of healing another certainly took a lot out of him. His sister had never struggled so.
Oh, Mifa.
Mifa's grace is ready. All right. The distinct crack of a branch snapping had him ducking down into the depths, all senses on red alert. It could have been nothing more than the tread of an animal, but there was no harm in being overly wary. Humans other than those from the village tended to react poorly toward him. Abruptly, a familiar sound caught his attention, a rapid splashing, similar to that of a panicked fish. She gives me this look when she does. Fucking kills me just like, gotcha. Insects were roused to the possibility of food, although reason still advised caution. He poked his head above the water, secondary eyelids shuddering. It was the chief, rapidly slapping the surface with the palm of his hand. He wasn't alone. While he recognized one of the humans in his company, a guard from the village, the third man was a tall stranger with bright red hair. Even at this distance, their eyes met, amber and gold. Curiosity won out, bolstered by the familiar presence of the chief. He began his Wait. Is this going to be Ganon and Shape of Water?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I know we're not going to get to it, but I know there's a listener who's like, oh my god.
No, it's Ganon is playing the part of the sergeant, I think he is. The military dude who brings him into the facility.
Yeah.
So that's his role.
Right. I keep having to forget I'm crossing over to two different
Yeah. I mean,
planes,
obviously Link is the mute girl
Yeah.
because they're both mute.
Yeah.
Link never can talk. I always imagine him in Breath of the Wild because people react like he's talking, but I think he's using Hylian sign language.
Well, because like you have options for dialogue, and by the way, they're all like dick ways of talking.
Especially to that one dude who like falls in love with you when you're dressed in the girl clothes. You are a complete asshole, and I'm just like, I feel so bad. He like really likes you, and you're just like, nope, sorry.
Yeah, or just the thing where if you want to duck out of it for any reason, it's just bye.
Yeah, just like bye.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
But I mean, like, if I know that sign language, a lot of it is like the expressions you use and like the way that you move your hands. So maybe he's saying goodbye like in a nicer way than it looks on the screen.
I know this is thanks.
This is thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. And I know the one for
this is drowning.
That's drowning.
Yeah.
I know abortion.
You know abortion.
Okay, abortion.
What is that?
YouTube people, it's.
It's a nightmare.
Audio people, rock your hands like a baby, then kind of pick up the baby with one hand and throw it out. That's abortion in American Sign Language. It's just, I really got to learn it one of these days. It seems like a fun language.
I might weaponize that. That's the scary part.
What, weaponize abortion? Oh.
There you go. I mean,
thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm never going to forget that. Now I know 3 things in sign language. Thank you, drowning and abortion.
I love you.
That's
I love you.
That's I love you. So this is Rock On.
This is Rock On, and this is
That's
I Love
You. So like metalheads have like a tortured romantic soul below the surface. We may be at this Motorhead concert, but I love you.
I love you.
Rock On.
Rock on.
It's just gonna be when I see you next time from too far away. I'm just gonna be like.
Or you could do like a shitty teen like drama all in sign language. Or like, did you just do?
Why hasn't it happened yet?
Did you just do I love you? No, it was Rock On. It was totally Rock On.
That's the awkward moment, but you wouldn't hear a thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm still waiting for Werner Herzog to do a rom-com, just because I want to hear him say the phrase "meet cute." He's like, so the parents are dying and they run into each other in the hospital waiting room, and I was thinking that could be your meet cute right there.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Okay. He's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's coming.
The chief sat back on his heels, beckoning the guard over.
La cansada, por favor.
The woven basket.
I'm sorry. He didn't. Well, he said basket.
Canasta.
Yeah.
The woven basket was handed over, brimming with fresh-caught fish. Bowing his head, the chief murmured a few words before placing it onto the water's surface. Prayers? Asked Ganon, standing with both arms folded over his chest.
Gratitudes.
The chief replied. Fed by a mighty river, the lake itself had a current that carried a basket along with ease. Its journey was intercepted, however, by a large webbed hand that gripped the surface and dragged it close. So you put.
So do Zelda have a religion? Is Ganon like atheist, or is?
I guess.
Or the townspeople have their own religion, or how does that work?
They probably have like a subset of the Hylian, because they all believe in the goddesses, right?
Well, because
that's right, 3 goddesses.
Din, Feror, Nehru from like the Ocarina of Time thing, where they're like, "This is how Hyrule was created."
Yeah.
And then you had Hylia from like Skyward Sword onward.
She's the I don't know, because I guess the three goddesses are kind of one being, kind of like how the three in Christianity they're three.
The Father,
things.
the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Who's who? You think? Who's the Father, Son, and I think Pharaoh would be the Holy Ghost. I don't know why, but I don't
really,
know.
I would think that Nehru would be the Holy Ghost because she's like the wise one.
Maybe. I mean, like the thing with Pharaoh is that they say it's there, but it kind of never is. You know what I mean? Like Link has the Triforce of Courage. What powers does it give him? Fuck, I don't know. Like, Holy Ghost.
Strong muscles.
He has the power of courage and or the power of the stupidity to go do things that are courageous.
Yeah. it just kind of feels like an afterthought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hence Holy Ghost. I feel like Father would be Din, and then Nehru, the son. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Well,
but there's so many temples in all of these games too.
Yeah.
There's always But I know that even like where Zelda's made in Japan, they have their own, like, it's not Christianity or like Buddhism. I forget what it's called. It's its own set of like guidelines and morals and stuff like that I feel like Zelda does have a lot of inside, but they never specifically outside of the three goddesses talk about like what makes a good thing. It's through like conversation through people that you like find out if they're good people or bad people.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like in the townsfolk. But yeah, I think it's cool that they have all these cathedral things, but they're all like derelict.
Yeah, I like that about Breath of the Wild too. And like you can decide which timeline it's in too, apparently.
Well, because there's like bits of everything in there.
Yeah.
You got Koroks, but also like there's actual Hyrule, and Rito is there, but Zora is there, even though they're supposed to, like, Rito were supposed to evolve.
I always thought
from
that was
Zora.
dumb.
Okay, so people are like, wait, if they're Zora and they can swim, wouldn't they be fine in the ocean? So they're river Zora, so they're freshwater. If the Great Sea from the Wind Waker is saltwater, you'd fucking die pretty quick.
But also, your scales wouldn't evolve into feathers. That's not how evolution. Well, I guess it is.
Sometimes.
I mean, also,
I wasn't
literally just thinking about dinosaurs, and that's how it happened.
I mean,
their scales turned into feathers, and they became birds.
Well, because like there's the thing where the Great Deku Tree turned the Kokiri into Koroks, so they wouldn't die, right? Because they could fly now. So I'm guessing the goddesses are like, if we're gonna flood the land and kill everybody, we should probably like save the Zora.
So they had some goddess interference there.
I'm guessing when they say evolution, they mean like Pokemon evolution and not evolution.
It just happens. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then for Gorons, they were just like, fuck you, figure it out for yourself. You already live on a mountain.
Your rocks.
Are there any Gorons in Wind Waker?
Okay, you know the little traveling merchants that have like the hats on?
Oh, they're Gorons.
If you blow a Deku leaf at them, the hat comes up. They're like, "Oh shit!" And you can see their like Goron faces.
Oh, but they're mostly probably extinct because they've all fallen to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah,
they are chemophores though, so maybe they're all alive at the bottom of the sea.
Oh, cool.
Also, my suspicion is that they're all asexual and they reproduce by budding, like those little like things on their back, the little like they're gonna bud off into a new Goron.
That's what I guessed it was, because there's no women in their society. It's just all brother. Your brother.
They're all bro.
All brother.
They're all bros.
But they're allowed. But they're allowed into the Gerudo town because they don't have a.
Because they're asexual, maybe. Wait, what were you saying?
That the flower bombs that grew on the mountainside in Ocarina as well when we first met Gerudo people, that they could produce asexually or grow out of the ground somehow. Yeah. But there's only so many of them.
That's true.
Despite himself, Ganon's fuck it. Despite himself, Ganon's breath caught at this closer glimpse of the creature in all its strangeness. A mouth full of jagged teeth, fingers tipped with thick claws, and the monstrous shape of its head. It consumed the fish one by one, whole, bones and all, through the pause menu. No. Joking. Does it have a name?
He does not speak. If he has a name, he has never told us. We call him nuestro amigo, our friend.
They watched in silence as the creature devoured all 6 fish with ease, not leaving so much as a scale behind. After it was done, it stared over at them. With what? Expectation? Animal curiosity? Gannon stepped off the bank and waded down to his ankles, lake mud clinging to his boots. The fins that framed the creature's face twitched with a noticeable alarm and kicked backwards a few feet, looking on the verge of disappearing again. The Gerudo paused and glanced back over his shoulder at the chief, who had gotten to his feet with mild concern. It's frightened.
We don't seek him out. He comes when we need him.
Ah, of course. Gannon stepped back onto land, wiping the soles of his boots on the abundant grass as he came to stand by the other man once more. He resumed staring out at the creature. One hand rested on his hip. The chief visibly relaxed, relieved that no further action had been taken. To heal. And you said it's capable of healing any injury.
He is very wonderful, isn't he?
Gannon smiled. Very wonderful indeed. In a motion almost too quick to follow it, he turned and slashed the dagger across the chief's throat. Okay. So I don't think we're going to have enough time to finish the story.
Oh,
no!
I just want to know what happened after the chief throat thing.
I mean, here's the good thing. We have the story, the link for you to read.
Okay.
And this was an episode full of tangents. That's just how it is sometimes. I'm sorry. But what'd you think, Landon? So far
of the story of I think it's great actually, because when you said bad lip reading, I was just like,
no, not lip reading.
All right, it's
just bad reading.
Bad reading. Sorry, when it's bad reading is like the mixture. I actually like it. Like I'm really into it. I'm like, all right, this is something new. I'm quarantined. I have time. I can finish this.
This is perfect. So go read this story.
I was gonna be like, how would you punch this up? But honestly, like, it's off to a great start so far.
It is. So go.
And read by a wonderful cast. You guys are great at reading these things.
I've never done that kind of J. Peterman thing, that J. Peterman voice before, but I feel like that fit Gannon pretty well.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Agreed. And then Sidon is mute in this because Shape of Water.
Because Shape of Water. I mean, like...
I knew they had a thing, though. I knew Link and him had a thing.
Oh, fun fact. A bunch of people, when The Shape of Water came out, like a bunch of people did fan art of Sidon and Link, like in The Shape of Water kind of stuff.
Oh, because that came out around the same time, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And then Guillermo del Toro actually retweeted some of the fan art.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course he did.
Yeah.
And I'm Googling this. I have to see. Wow. That's amazing. Okay.
It's really good fan art too.
Yeah. So, some of these are... Oh my god! All right, I don't know if I can show that to
hold it
the camera.
Over a little bit.
Oh, there's a ton of it.
Yeah, like that's pretty crazy. That's in editing, I'll put up a few more like over a few of us just for shits and gigs because you're in quarantine and you YouTube people deserve the ability to look at stuff that's not just my dumb face and her awesome face and his awesome face.
And my cool glasses.
Yeah. Cool glasses.
My little office.
My little office, my little office.
Do you have any pets that come in front of your camera from time to time?
Yeah, she actually has been crying behind the door this whole time.
Oh.
Let's see her.
Oh, real quick? Okay.
While he's doing that.
This is me. If you haven't been able to tell already. Oh my god.
Popper! Yay!
This is Roxanne. Say hi, Roxanne.
Roxanne.
Roxanne. Do do do. Do do.
You don't
I think you've met Roxanne before.
Tonight. What?
You've met Roxanne before.
I did, yes. The one time I went over to your place for
for shooting.
Yeah, for
Chihuahua?
shooting. No, we were shooting a Jess Mulder sketch from the. You weren't here for that. It was the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Girl with shit in teeth.
Episode. Yeah.
Pug Chihuahua mix?
She's a Chihuahua. Yeah, I think mixed with Terrier or Pug or something. Yeah.
She looks like a Pug Chihuahua mix.
You are so engrossed in this.
I love animals. This is why I refused to play a druid until I got forced into it in D&D because animals. I live that druid IRL life.
God.
I'm starting a World of Warcraft druid this week, actually.
Oh, God.
My next character.
I'm playing a Swarmkeeper ranger, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to be super fun. I'm playing the Pied Piper, but a character. It's going to be fun.
Okay.
Oh, nice. I'm finding like-minded people. I will add you all.
I'm putting a stop to this before you guys go off the rails. Landon, thank you very much for coming on Bad
Thank you for having me, guys. Yeah, I had a great time.
Where can people find you out there? On
LandonCharlesHughes.com, and then outside of my house when the quarantine's over.
Okay. And then Twitter or anything like that? Instagram?
Oh, at Landon C. Hughes on Twitter, Instagram, Landon Charles Hughes. Yeah, we usually had a weekly show at the Hollywood Hotel Tuesday nights, but I don't know where that's going after this, but hopefully we'll come back to that in the summer.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Chris, where can people find you?
At stolen_relic on Twitter, same handle on Instagram, and just email the Bad Reading Podcast if you want to talk to me as well.
Well, I'm not gonna give out our email address yet, and like hopefully later maybe we get fans like sending us stories.
Yeah,
maybe that'll happen, but not yet. And then find me at Atlas Novak Twitter, Instagram, or this show at Bad Reading Pod on Twitter or Instagram. Everybody, thank you for listening. Stay safe, wash your fucking hands, and have a good night.